So we are here today with Justin Gary of Stoneblade Entertainment, and here to showcase Shards of Infinity Saga Collection.
Yeah.
Or is it Saga?
I say Saga,
Okay,
but
whatever.
You know, potato,
Yeah,
whatever.
it's all
you know.
good. Yeah. So what do we got here?
Yeah. So this is really exciting to me. So I've been making deck building games since deck building games existed, right?
Yeah.
So Ascension released 14 years ago at this show, and
great.
Shards of Infinity is like the deck building game I decided to make like after about 8 years of making Ascension. I'm like, if I could start over and make whatever I wanted, that's what Shards of Infinity was.
Really nice.
And so building Shards of Infinity, the first time was a big hit. We released like 3 different expansions, and then the Saga collection is the ultimate edition. It includes everything from the original game, all of the expansions, all of the promos, all built into a like legacy light kind of mode, which is what we call the Saga mode, where you like unlock the content and the story as you go through, unlock each set. It's like it's awesome. Like
that's awesome.
Yeah.
The Ultimate Edition.
The Ultimate Edition, exactly. So it's really cool. So you know, for those who are familiar with Shards of Infinity, you know, you have the basics of the like a deck building game, just like Ascension. You buy cards from the center row, add them to your deck. You use power to attack your opponent. So it's a very fast, very aggressive game. But the unique mechanic is the mastery mechanic. So each turn you could spend one gem, to increase your mastery, and then as you increase your mastery, your cards all get more powerful. The most exciting, which of course is your starting card, the Infinity Shard, which starts off only doing 2 damage, but if you can make it all the way to 30 mastery and play the card, you auto win the game. Does infinite damage, super fun. This game also, not only is it a kind of classically very like competitive style card game, but you can also play it cooperatively. There's an entire campaign mode with a choose your own adventure battle book, which we even had voice acted. You can get the voice acting for free on our website to take you through it. It's just like a really fun experience for anybody that loves deck building games, and this is the definitive edition.
So were there any changes like that you went back, like were there any specific changes that players of the original Shards of Infinity might say, oh, that's a bit different?
Yeah, we made changes to a couple of cards that we felt were a little bit off. There was like a couple cards, like there's I think the 1-cost card here. Let's see, I wasn't prepared for this question as I should have been.
Sorry.
But yeah, there was a few balance tweaks that I got to make, and we were talking about it before we started filming. One of the great things about designing games for as long as I have, and games that have had some popularity over years, is I'm able to come back and like, I won't say necessarily fix some mistakes, but you know, tweak and improve, and fix some mistakes. And so we were able to really like increase the balance on some cards. Some cards that were a little too weak made them better. Some cards were a little too good, made them worse. Fortunately, I felt pretty good about this one overall. I mean, we're talking about less than half a dozen cards that had to kind of get nudged.
The original one felt balanced to me. And you had all these different, suits. You could follow all these different paths to get there, and each had their own kind of style. So you could pick your approach based on what you had in hand and what was available to purchase.
Exactly. I think deck building games thrive when what cards you're going to choose from the center row are very dependent upon what your opponent is choosing and what strategy they're done. And I think Shards of Infinity does that, frankly, better than any other game. And so because you have both, you're trying to attack somebody and gain health. Also, you're trying to gain mastery and manage that. Also, you're trying to manage your deck and like whether you're banishing cards, and you can track where your opponents are doing relative to you to determine what matters and what doesn't matter in that game. And so also the fact that there's the Mercenary mechanic that you can actually like burn cards, and so you can decide, do I want this card in my deck to be able to use it later, or do I need it right now and then I don't get it later, is also something we innovated in this game. And so I think it's like, again, it's of all of the games, I'm proud of all my games. It's like, they're all my babies. But if there's ever like, what game would I just want to sit down and just play right now? Then my answer is Shards of Infinity.
That's great. And Ascension was great too. I played a lot of Ascension.
I love Ascension. I'm so excited about Ascension. We just have the new Ascension set I'm sure we're going to talk about.
That's great.
And I love playing that too, but just like as my personal preference of like any given moment, what game do I want to sit down and play? This is it, and this is the definitive version of it. And so this is like, we're very lucky to have this. I actually didn't even get my hands on this until today at Gen Con. There's only 100 copies. We're for sure going to sell out of these. Kickstarter backers are going to get them very shortly, and then it'll be available in stores. I think we're tracking to like late October.
It takes a little while for it to get all distributed. So
turns out shipping things around the world, moving it through channels takes time, but this stuff we just air shipped in with our original samples, and so I couldn't be happier. I mean, like, I talked about only a few like balance cards changing, but like the look and the visuals of how the characters are designed. We have the storyline designs behind the different cards. We have the cool different boards. This board's actually double-sided, so you can actually see. Let's see. We'll see if we can. We can make ourselves the flip side of this board is for the campaign mode.
Oh, wow.
So you can actually have space for where the boss goes and the boss's cards, and there's things set up. So like, you know, we have these cool stickers to track for the Saga mode, and you can progress along the Saga mode and see which characters are advancing. Like, it's just everything fits nicely into the box. We've got one of the complaints of the original version of the game is the character trackers were like a little small and hard to read. So we made nice big versions so you can read them across the table. Just like it's just beautiful. It's just mwah, mwah. I'm excited about it.
That's awesome. Well, we're excited about it as well. And if you haven't tried Shards of Infinity before, I mean, it's good to know there's a definitive edition.
Yeah.
But whatever edition you play, it's a great game.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And if you just want to try it out too, we've got a great app that just has the first set, not the whole thing. But it's a great way to try out the game for very cheap. You can just play it and enjoy it. And yeah, I think if you like deck building games, you like the kind of like really strategic, competitive, but like fast to play, this is the game for you.
Yeah, so that's great. Well, thank you so much for chatting about this definitive Saga collection.
Awesome. Thanks for hearing it.